is a completely different index as compared to the other big three, Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, because the composition of it, again, is not a high concentration weighted. If you didn't know that, remember the Russell's capable of doing things completely different. I also do not subscribe because, by the way, the action since March pretty much invalidates this very incorrect notion that the Russell is somehow the crystal ball to the rest of the market. Because if that were true, S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow would not be continually punching up to all-time highs incrementally since the last week of March. I mean, if the Russell had the final say-so, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow wouldn't look like they are. So I think sometimes there's this feeling that small caps are the harbinger to something. I've never felt that way. I don't think anything is a harbinger to something. We just read what we have, right? We just kind of say, well, all right, well, what's the Russell doing on its own? And what it is doing, as we talked about in yesterday's free update, is that it's testing the 200 EMA. It's on the bullish side of that 200 EMA. And look at the way the Russell's been bouncing off this Darvis. I mean, really just perfection. So a couple things got me in, but I'm going to talk about targets and chops. So this is not limited to the Russell trade. This is really about how do we deal with choppy markets and get an accurate target. So this is the last time we put this on the radar. We put this on the radar yesterday. And so the idea here is it's just going to have a bounce, but how much of a bounce? Well, let's zoom in a little bit on this V-score of mine. If you're not familiar with the V-score, this is just a little tool that I created back in 2008 so I could understand and really coattail size, flow, right? And take a look. I'm at that same spot. So this is a volume confirmed zone where volume is telling me there is size here and there's likely going to be a bounce. Here, we're just rinsing and repeating, gang. All right. Now, this is where choppy markets can get a lot of traders in trouble. So let's get past the entry for a moment and talk about targets. I think we've already established that if you're looking at chop, it's really important to understand the top and the bottom of the range. Look at the bottom quarter of the range. Look at the top quarter of the range. That's going to be where you want to get in. All right. And then where you want to get out is going to be basically right at the halfway mark. So if I look at the halfway mark, the top and bottom, it's amazing how often that zone is going to be at least a near-term obstacle to the upside. Or, if we were coming off the resistance level downward, that would be an obstacle to further movement lower. But this 50% level, just cutting the range in half, has got to be the first target. And that's going to put us right around the 22.25 area. This white line looks like I've cut the range in half. Interestingly enough, if I look at the entire year, 2021, that is the point of control. So that particular line just happens to be in that halfway area. That is what's known as the point of control. Throughout the year 2021, the Russell futures have seen the most volume at 22.31 and change. So you think there's some opinion weighting there. And if we're coming up towards that level, chances are we're going to at least see a little bit of resistance. I'm going to assume a resistance level is going to hold until it's broken. I'm going to assume a support level is going to hold until it's broken. So that's the upside target. Again, that's the point of control, and it's in the vicinity of our halfway mark. And that's the way in which every single market that I will trade, that's where I'm going to find the target. So on Monday, I don't think we're going to hit this on Monday. Okay, I think it's going to take a little while. But we've gotten our entry, and now let's at least focus on where that first level is, and I'm going to scale out of half of my position and move to a break even. Now, the last thing is, you might say, Rog, I don't trade Russell. No problem. But remember, if you want to trade the IWM, you want to watch the Russell, let the Russell reach the zone, and then execute the trade idea via whatever other alternative you would like, whether that be micro Russell, whether that be calls on the full-size Russell or the E-mini Russell, or whether that be IWM calls. Okay? The actual execution of the idea, that's not the big deal. It's making sure you're realizing that, RTY futures is a better view of the Russell because it's more nearly a 24-hour market as opposed to the 9:30 to 4. Okay, so the zone for entry, if you didn't catch the video from yesterday, it's right here at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel. Check it out. You'll see why I chose the zone, and now you're going to see why I'm looking at the target. And by the way, this is the second time we're doing it. So we're just putting a quarter right back in the machine. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.